Have you and everyone ever felt this? We scroll past a post that is half a page long and the writer solves big world economics, soccer, how to raise a chimp, and even a plan to put a tracking chip in people, all in one line of thought. At a coffee shop, we sometimes meet someone who talks about vaccines with rock-hard belief based on a 10-minute video. That firm voice makes many people who learned the right way feel a bit shaken. Did we miss a chapter somewhere? If you have felt lost like that, you are not alone. We just touched a famous and tricky mind effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect, in simple words, knowing little but thinking we know it all. The classic story that opens this idea is about a bank robber in Pittsburgh in the mid-1990s. He put lemon juice on his face and went to rob banks because he believed invisible ink would make the cameras not see him. When he was caught and watched the tape, he was shocked and said, "But I did put on lemon juice." It sounds funny, but it shows a serious thing. When we lack skill in a field, we often also lack the skill to see that very lack. In classic tests, people did task on grammar, logic, and humor. The lowest score group rated themselves the highest. The top group had the habit of rating themselves lower. From that, people drew a kind of map of the mind. At the start, with a little learning, we climb fast to the peak of confidence. I like to call it the peak of illusion. Up there, our small store of facts makes us think we hold the truth. If we go on and learn deeper, we slide down into a valley of despair. We see the things we do not know are as wide as the sea. If we stay patient, you and I will climb up the slope of insight. We know deep enough to do good work and also see our limits. I have camped on that peak of illusion a few times. When I was new at work, after writing a few web services and skimming a book on system design, I thought making the platform is no big deal. Just use microservices and we are done. Then the first system I owned got real traffic. Logs burst like fireworks. A database cluster was gasping for air in the night. I sat and stared at charts like I was watching the weather. Only then did I see I had enough knowledge to form an opinion, but not enough to see how shallow that opinion was. Another example closer to me is the guitar. I have played for more than 15 years and taught a few basic classes. Many friends, after 1 month and 3 chords, the whole world already, every song seems simple, and anyone who plays rich lines is showing off. But when you meet offbeat rhythms to voice a 4-note chord, or just keep a steady tempo at high speed, then you see what good players do is invisible to new ears. The key point of Dunning-Kruger is a lack of metacognition, the skill to look back at how we think. When we lack skill, we cannot measure our own gaps, so our confidence swells. When we know a lot, we see many shades in edge cases, our confidence goes down. There is also a false consensus effect here. Experts often think their knowledge is what everyone already knows, and that is rich soil for imposter syndrome, where able people fear they are fake. The problem is that the real world is often led by the loudest and surest voice. Sadly, many times that voice comes from the peak of illusion. On social media, a wrong claim said with great confidence can spread faster than a right, careful note. In a software company, a bold-sounding architecture choice can pass quicker than a careful, far-seeing proposal because it has fewer gray areas and less pain. So how do we survive in a time when each of us holds a loudspeaker in a pocket? There are two fronts: dealing with others and dealing with ourselves. With others, a head-on fight, "You are wrong," often fails. I learned to ask questions instead of pushing back. Ask, "Where did you find this source?" If what you say is true, how does the mechanism work in detail? Questions make the other person move from belief to the shape of an argument. When they redraw their map of knowledge, they meet their own blank spots. In tech work, I like a walk through the example way. Pick one very clear case and let them run their claim step by step. No harsh tone, no shame, just light. But the hardest fight is with ourselves. No one is immune to Dunning-Kruger, we just get it in different fields. As a coder, I may feel safe in platform work, but I can brag and break when I talk about money, health, or politics. The cure sounds old, but it works: intellectual humility. Not self-doubt, it is daring to say, "I do not know," to keep a soft edge in a conclusion, and to update all the time. Here are some very practical habits I suggest. First, set red flags for yourself. When lines in your head sound like, "This is easy," "Everyone knows this," "I am 100% sure," that is the time to stop, breathe, and write down what facts you lean on. If it is only a hunch, mark it needs checking. Second, go and look for pushback on purpose. For each tech choice, I invite someone to play the red team. Their job is to fight the idea. In design meetings, I open a premortem part. If the project has failed after 6 months, what could be the causes? Thinking about failure before we start helps us see holes that joy often hides. Third, test your understanding by simple talk. I read a study: if I cannot explain it in plain words to a teammate in under half an hour, I have not learned it. The same for code. Fame and test. If you cannot sketch the flow of a system on 1A, 4-page so a new teammate can get it, you have not locked it in. Fourth, split words from belief. A small trick: split your keyline into 2 parts. With the data we have, A is more likely than B, and my confidence level is how much. Saying your confidence out loud helps you and the listener not get ruled by tone. Fifth, run your learning like you run tech debt. Make a list of blind spots by topic: basic stats, probability, systems thinking, data ethics, and so on. Each week, pay interest with 1 strict hour of study, a small exercise, or a tiny project. My own lesson is to learn by doing. Build a small service, write a script to simulate, or try to recreate the result of a paper. That sets anchors in the mind much deeper. Sixth, grow the skill of metacognition. Try breath watching meditation, write a short thought journal, or simply set a daily timer to check in once. Where was I too sure today? 1 honest minute. Don't every day will make a big change. I also want to recall a view I love from Sapiens. Harari says the big leap of humankind came when we dared to say "I do not know" and turned knowing into a drive to explore. Science took off when people swapped "I have the answer" for "I have a guess and I will test it." The beauty is this: humility does not make us small. It opens the door to real strength, the strength to learn and to fix fast. If you are on the peak of illusion, it is okay. We all pass by that place. What matters is climbing down safely. If you are in the valley of despair, do not lose heart. The feeling "I know nothing" often means you are about to start to truly understand. And if you are on the slope of insight, let your certainty always travel with a break, habits of checking, a red team around you, and a mind that is open to challenge. Before we close, I invite all of us to try a small, very everyday exercise this week. Pick one topic where you once spoke with great certainty. It could be tech, raising a child, or a health habit. Write down 3 reasons for your view and the 3 strongest points against it that you can think of. Then ask a friend who sees things differently. If you were me, what would you worry about most? That is all. You will be surprised by the doors that open. At the end, let you me ask, when was the last time I said I do not know? If it has been too long, maybe it is time to slow down, look at the confidence gouge, and keep the trip down from the peak of illusion, and go up again on the strong legs of true understanding.